I don't know what inclined me to film a video at 10:01 on a Sunday night at this angle, but something really just told me it had to be done. Yay! For this video, just imagine we're at a sleepover and my parents are in the next room. So I'm whispering to you a little bit because we're trying not to wake them up and get yelled at because we do have to go to church in the morning. And if you don't come to church in the morning, then you actually can't sleep over. So today we're going to talk about how to be confident now. I wrote down the notes for this video a long time ago. Today we're talking about a topic that's actually genuinely important, and I feel like I'm not at the point where I've mastered this, and no one is at the point where they master this. If somebody says that they've mastered this, they're lying and they're probably delusional, because nobody can truly master how to be confident. However, I do have some tips and tricks that helped me. Let me explain. For the first 18 years of my life, my confidence was in the absolute trenches, fighting for its life. The lack of confidence was unreal, maybe even unbearable, even a little concerning. Like, genuinely, I was fighting for my life in the fucking trenches. Today, we're gonna be talking about some of my tricks, or really my mindset that like helped me change my view about myself. I've now been more confident for the past, 4 years? Or something like that, so huge improvement on my life. I have a long fucking notes app list of all different things that I want to say, and you're just gonna have to deal with it, okay? So pay attention, get your notepad out, let's begin. My first tip of advice is that no one's really thinking about you. And now this might seem like in some ways discouraging. You might be thinking, Jenna, are you saying nobody cares about me? Because that's just flat out rude. Why would you say that to me? Don't be mean. To that I say, I mean nobody's thinking about you because they're too busy focusing on themselves. For example, when I was in school, there was a day where I sprayed too much perfume on myself. And for literally the whole day, I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. This is the worst day of my life. I can like smell the perfume on me, and everybody else can too. Now listen, I was definitely right. Everybody else around me could smell the perfume, and they might have quickly been like, why the fuck is this bitch wearing so much perfume in the 7th grade? But the reality is that I was thinking about it more because I could smell the perfume all day. It was like bothering me all day. For these people, it's just kind of like maybe they'd walk past me and they'd smell it, and it kind of was like something they think about, and then they move on to thinking about the next thing. I feel like that's like a good real example how something could bother you all day, but people might think about it for just a split second and it's over with because they're thinking about their own things that they have going on, their own insecurities, their own actual priorities. Maybe they had like fucking homework or whatever. Who the hell knows what we were thinking about in 7th grade? But I feel like if you have the mindset that nobody really cares about you, nobody's really looking at you, nobody's really thinking about you, and that's a good thing. My second thing, going off of this, is that you have to almost believe that nobody's talking bad about you. If you catch that somebody's talking bad about you, or you hear about it, like, they're weird. Like, I'm sorry, let's say hypothetically, if somebody watching this was like somebody that I went to high school with or something, and they're like making fun of me because they're like, look at this loser talking to the camera, I say, you're weird. I'm not the weird one. I'm doing something I want to do because it makes me happy. If you're making fun of me for that, you're weird. Sorry, but you are. And I'll be the bearer of bad news. Maybe this video is showing them a little bit mean. And honestly, sometimes you have to be. Because to protect yourself, sometimes you have to be like, listen bitch, it's my world and you're just living in it. Sometimes I don't think that's a bad mentality to have. Like, you really have to live your life for you. And if somebody's talking bad about you, that's not your problem. They have their own problems that they have to deal with, for real. When I was in high school, something that I would do a lot, I would buy clothes with my friends, and their opinions on those clothes would really heavily influence me. If this is you, you just have to buy things that you like. And if your friends think that you're weird or, oh, that thing's ugly or whatever, you're not really gonna be happy. I know I'm talking about material things, so it's kind of like, you want to have friends who really like you for who you are. And if somebody doesn't want to be your friend anymore because they don't like a shirt you bought at the mall, again, that says a whole lot more about them than this is about you. And if they talk badly about you for the shirt you're wearing, like, please get a hobby or something. Like, take up painting. Literally find anything better to do. Another thing, something that really concerned me was about how I looked in things like a bathing suit. I had a lot of I still do today. Like, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, y'all. For real. I would think about what my body looks like what it could look like to other people, whatever it could be. How other people would interpret how I look. Or, you know, you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, I look so blank. The thing is, other people are not gonna see that in you. You are your own worst critic. When I recognize that I'm my own worst critic, that really helps me to be like, okay, nobody else is judging me this harshly. And if they are, they're honestly like kind of a mean person. Like if you're looking at my body and are thinking about how terrible I look, that's honestly kind of weird. I just want to read this word for word what I have written down in my notes because I feel like this really sums it up very nicely for what I went through. I had a very manipulative friend who made me have a bad relationship with food. She would let my friends and I know how many calories were in the food we were eating, which was unsolicited, and she would put us down about it. She was a very heavy influence over myself and my friend's self-worth. She was very aware of that and did everything to bring us down and crush us like a little bug. But I've realized that this was not normal. By saying these things to me and my friends, she actually had like kind of a lot of control over us. She really determined our self-worth. She would say the things to us to hurt us and to make us feel insecure about ourselves and what we were putting into our body, even though it should not have concerned her literally in the slightest. And in the moment while all this was happening, I did not think that it was that weird. And nobody told me that it was weird that my friend was saying this weird stuff to me about what I was eating. In retrospect, I know she was saying all this to me because she was insecure about herself and what she looked like and what she was putting into her body. It's rough. It's brutal out there, guys. Stay safe. Another thing that really helped me to become more confident is to tell myself to let go and move on. This is really, really hard. But if something happened maybe throughout the day and you're really overthinking it, sometimes I just have to stop and tell myself you have to let go and move on. It's over, it's done. And sometimes just saying that simple phrase to me really helps a lot to let go and move on. Because that's exactly what you have to do. There's no changing the past. Everybody's gonna forget about it soon enough. You're just hyper focused on it because it happened to you just a few moments before when the person you probably said it to isn't even thinking about it. If they are, they should probably stop anyway. My next tip is one that I briefly mentioned already. It's that it's my world and you're just living in it. If you have this mindset of it's my world and you're just living in it, you do have to be careful. Don't get too caught up in it, guys. It's just a little saying, okay? Don't think too deep about it because you can go a little nuts, I think. If I don't view my life this way, I will not do the things that I actually want to do in my life, and I will have my life revolve around the others around me, which is never your goal. What I think to myself is that I'm the main character and this is my story. And I'm gonna take control of that. At the end of the day, you don't owe anything to anyone else except for yourself. So you might as well do what makes you happy. You don't want to change the course of your life for others and then look back and regret it. Sometimes I like to imagine that my life is a movie and think about what the audience would want me to do. Would they want me to keep talking to the boy that ghosted me or cheated on me or ridiculed me? No. Sometimes I feel like you almost have to think about your own life from an outside perspective. If somebody was looking in on your life, or if you were looking in on your life, really, it's not about the judgment of others and if others will judge you for your choices. It's more like if I was the main character of a film, what would the audience be rooting to happen next? Would they be rooting for me to stay at my job where I do the same mundane task every day? Or would they be rooting for me to go try something new and have an adventure and learn more about myself? Think, which movie would you rather watch? Come on. It really just is, what do you want to do? What's going to put you outside of your comfort zone that could give you really positive outcomes in the future? Another piece of advice I have is if you're not going to say it to your friend, you should not be saying it to yourself. Essentially, we are our own worst critics, like I said before. Would you say something to your friend? Like, would you say, ugh, you have terrible eyebrows? Ugh, you have an ugly big nose. No, you wouldn't say any of that stuff to your friend. So you shouldn't be saying that stuff to yourself. This is literally the hardest thing. Literally the hardest thing you could do. But sometimes you can catch yourself doing it and think to yourself, okay, would somebody else really notice this about me? No. So in reality, it does not matter. I've had friends be like, my hair's so thin, my hair's so thin. Oh my God, my hair's so thin. And I'll be like, your hair's not thin at all. What are you, like, literally, I've never looked at you and thought your hair was thin. And then I realize, oh my God, they're insecure about something other people don't even realize about them. And if somebody else was to realize that about them, they're weird. Why are you looking that closely at her hair? It's weird. Obviously, nobody is 100% confident. Things will always happen in your life that you try to overthink. Things about your personality, things about your appearance, things that you do, things that you say. You're always gonna try to overthink them. And it's literally so hard not to. At least become aware of one time that you said something or had a thought to yourself or are really hyper focusing on something that happened throughout the day, if you're able to stop yourself just once and be like, girl, stop thinking about this, come on, snap out of it, girl, it can really help you, and it will help you in the long run become more confident. I feel like genuinely the tip that has helped me the most is kind of viewing other people as weird. If I think to myself, if they think this about me, they're weird. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you probably do think that I'm a bad person and probably think that I'm mean for calling other people weird. But it's like, I'm not actually calling people weird. I'm saying if somebody was to say the same things about me that I think about me, it would be strange. They would be a little obsessive with me and with everything I'm doing. I really hope that this made some sense. I really hope that there was at least something you could take away from this video. I know it's just me literally dumping my heart out onto you about how I became more confident. Please comment down below. Let me know. Let me know if you agree or disagree. If you disagree with me, that's fine. This mindset has helped me, and I hope that you're able to take something from this. I literally love you guys so much. I hope you got sleepover vibes from this, because it's definitely giving share. Love you guys so much. Bye.
What's going on?